In this edition of ProSeries Tips, we will address an electronic filing situation. Resolving Return Duplicate SSN, EIN, e-file status errors. If you electronically file in ProSeries, you may have recognized the Return Duplicate SSN, EIN status reported in your electronic filing home base. Or perhaps you have tried to e-file a return only to have that submission fail with an error that reports the client is a duplicate return. These situations are fairly common and can be frustrating if you are uncertain how to address the situation. First, let's look at what the Return Duplicate SSN EIN status means. This status indicates one or more client files displayed in your electronic filing home base have a Social Security number or employer identification number that is identical to that of another client file also displayed in your electronic filing home base. When your electronic filing home base reports a Return Duplicate SSN EIN status, you will want to address the issue promptly because this situation can prevent you from electronically filing a return, and the duplicates can prevent your software from retrieving and applying status updates and acknowledgments to returns that have been filed electronically. To help you resolve these issues when they occur, we will share some tips on how to address the duplicates manually. Then we will demonstrate a fixed duplicate SSN EIN utility that is available in ProSeries. First, let's look at resolving duplicates manually, which will also provide some insights on how these duplicate statuses are created. In my electronic filing home base, you will notice multiple instances of the Return Duplicate SSN EIN status that is reported in red. When attempting to resolve duplicates, we recommend you sort the SSN EIN column, which is done by clicking on the column header. If you are using ProSeries Professional Edition, do this from the All tab so that you can see both pending and completed returns. After sorting, you can easily identify the duplicates using the EF status column, and the files with matching Social Security numbers or EINs will be located either immediately above or immediately below the red Return Duplicate SSN EIN status. Notice the duplicate status is only reported on one of the files that share the same Social Security number. This is because the duplicate status is assigned upon creation of that duplicate, or the second file that contains. If we look closely at the duplicates that exist, we can also see some common causes of the duplicate condition. For instance, Carly's Kitchen and Heavenly Bakery, we see two different returns that share the same EIN. Possibly, the client provided an incorrect EIN, or there was a data entry error. Now let's look at John Taxpayer. Here we have multiple data files for the same client. This can be confirmed by reviewing the path and file name column where we can see the different locations. This is one of the most common causes of Return Duplicate SSN EIN statuses. This situation typically occurs when Save As is used to copy a client file to a new location or to change the name of an existing file. To avoid this situation, always use client file maintenance to back up and restore files or to change the name of a file. Once the duplicates are identified, they can be corrected. If different clients share the same Social Security number, correct the issue with the identification number. In situations where you have multiple client files for a single client, such as with John Taxpayer, the key is to remove the duplicate files from the electronic filing home base. This can be easily accomplished by opening the duplicate client file and unmarking the federal and state returns for electronic filing. Be sure to open the state return after you make changes to the federal. When you save the return and go back to the electronic filing home base, the duplicate will be resolved. Let's look at one more situation. If you discover a client that reports Return Duplicate SSN EIN and there are no duplicates matching that Social Security number or employer identification number, the duplicate status is present from an earlier condition that has already been resolved. In these situations, you only need to refresh the client's status by opening and saving that client's file. The duplicate status is now resolved. Now let's review another way we can fix these situations using a utility that's available in ProSeries. Here we see multiple files exist, all for the same client. To launch the utility, click the blue Fix Duplicate SSN EIN hyperlink located in the Next Step column. The utility will open and quickly identify all client files that share the same Social Security number or employer identification number. You will need to determine the good client file that will remain in the electronic filing home base and the bad file or files that should be removed. For the files you want to remove, check the box in the Remove column. Now let's click the OK button to remove the files. ProSeries will process your selections and a confirmation window will display the results. The duplicate SSN EIN conditions should now be resolved. We hope you found this edition of ProSeries Tips both helpful and informative. Thank you for being a ProSeries customer.